This is Death or Prison, brought to you by leanonmeusa.org. We bring you stories of hope and encouragement.
Hello, I'm Joe Pryor, President and CEO at Crossroads Prison Ministries. For over 40 years, we have provided correspondence Bible lessons and caring mentors to people in prisons and jails. I want to invite you to join us on this journey. You may ask, why should I sign up for a correspondence Bible study? Well, the answer is simple. Just as it is important to strengthen your body with good food and exercise, and your mind with new learning opportunities, it is also vital that you spend quality time growing your faith in God. Crossroads is a Christian program, but open to you. Whether you are a believer in Jesus Christ looking to strengthen your faith or simply exploring faith and what it can mean to your life, we're here for you. We want to come alongside you as we study God's Word together. We don't charge for our program. All you need to do is write to us at the address on the screen, and we will begin sending you lessons. I encourage you to give us a try. Thank you, and I hope to see you as a student very soon.
Welcome to the Death or Prison podcast, brought to you by leanonmeusa.org. On my right is Mr. Allwald Newbold.
Yes, sir.
And on my left is Vernon Ripley, our special guest today.
How you doing?
Today we're going to look into the life of Vernon Ripley and how Vernon just went through tragedy after tragedy after tragedy and finally triumph. Mr. Ripley, how you doing today?
Man, I'm better than most. I'm better than okay.
Better than okay.
Yes.
Well, the other day you and I was having a conversation about being successful.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get to the end of that story, because it's part of the story that I definitely want our audience to hear. Can you tell us about your childhood?
Wow. Yeah, of course. At the age of 5 years old, I was thrown off of a dock into the ocean. Not for any punishment or not for anything that I done wrong or anything like that, but it was the way we was taught how to swim in the Bahamas.
Oh.
So from that point, everything else was smooth gravy. We was given a set of instructions. 1, what do? Don't panic as you panic. 2, what do? Wait till you hit the water. 3, hold your breath. 4, when you come to the top, start doggy paddling. So that's how we learned how to swim. I grew up in the Bahamas with grandfather Percy Mackey, who was a mailboat captain, a preacher who built his own church and carved out his way of life in the Bahamas. We all stayed on the same property. I grew up with a lot of my cousins and stuff like that. My mom, she grew up being a taxi cab driver, running her own restaurant and bar, and wanted a better life for her kids. She was also an Eastern Star, and she married Virgil Ripley, who was strangely a white American man, and they moved to the U.S. and got us all over here and went to school over here.
Okay. When you say all us,
well, yeah, my siblings and I have 3 sisters, 4 sisters: Brenda, Dolores, Beryl, and Dorothy. And my brothers, 2 of them have passed away, Stanley and Eddie, and my only living brother now is Sam Mackey. So Virgil, he brought us all over and got us in school, got them to be American citizens like myself.
When you say brought you over
From the Bahamas to the U.S.
Where at?
Well, we started out in Homestead, Florida. I went to A.L. Lewis Elementary with Miss Saunders. Went to Homestead Junior High School, played a little football there. Went to South Dade Senior High. And from that point, I started, my mom passed away during the age I was 16 going on 17 when my mom passed away. She she was going backwards and forward from the Bahamas to the US. She had a business over here and a business over there. So in the process, I was over there one summer and she told me she had a bad dream and she wanted me to go home early. She called my sister Florence, we call her Flo, and told her, "Look, I want you to make sure you keep an eye on Vernon," because I was the youngest. And long story short, I was coming in and all of the family was at the house. That's when they told me that mom had died. And, we made preparations. We buried her in the Bahamas. Uh, Amazing. My mom was an amazing, charismatic woman. So a lot of people was at the funeral. And then a year later, the only father I knew at that time, Virgil Ripley, he died.
Mm.
A year and a half, 2 years later,
Mm.
he passed away. So my sisters, them at that time, I think I was just turning 2021. Friend of mine's, Mike Claiborne, and I, we became friends. Mike Claiborne and I became good friends, like brothers and stuff. He was playing running back at South Dade. His father was one of the biggest farm contractors in Florida. Man, he worked a big crew, and they took me like as one of their own. And eventually, during that time, losing both of your parents that close together, uh, got into that kind of like rebellious, don't care, type mode. But James Claiborne, he was gracious enough. God had in his heart that he taught me how to work on vehicles, taught me how to drive tractor trailers. I worked with him, for a period, even dropped out of school for a period of time, just going through the motions. And after that, I learned how to drive tractor trailers, tie steel, do work that, paid a little above or minimum wages.
That brings me to ask a question. You lost your mom fairly young,
Yeah.
right? What are some of them things you feel that you learned from your mom? Because your mom had a business over here and in the Bahamas. What are some of the things did you learn from your mom that she instilled in you growing up?
That's a very
Values.
good question. One of the biggest thing she instilled in all of us, I think, is that, you have to be intentional. Nothing happens accidental. You have to be intentional. The only thing that's going to happen accidental is if you're a child, you eat, sleep, go to the bathroom, you will grow.
Mm.
But if you want to grow in business, if you want to grow in finance, you want to grow in relationships, you want to grow uh, as a family, you have to be intentional about what you do. And you have to make strategic moves and know how to pivot. My mom was very good at pivoting. One of the best pivoters. If I had to name a player that could who mom pivoted after, I would say Kobe Bryant.
Mhm.
She know how to pivot. Y'all ever seen Kobe on that one foot?
Yeah.
People be like, he traveling, man.
Mhm.
Ain't no way he got to the rim.
Right.
But yeah,
When
she
you use that analogy of pivoting, is it from her just making moves based on the times or making moves based on the situation?
it depends on whether it was the time or the situation. In either circumstances, she knew how to pivot.
She was gonna pivot. She gonna
Yeah.
do what she got to do to make this move.
She ain't gonna. Mom is the type. She was always the type of woman. She's gonna talk about it. She's gonna, mull it over, and then she's gonna put a plan into action.
Mm-hmm.
The other question I wanted to ask, so that's what your mom instilled in you, right? But now you lost her young. How did that affect you emotionally? Because you was a little bit older, you wasn't a child, but losing your mom at that time in your life,
Yeah.
like how did that do with you?
Man, it's for anyone that lost their mom, man, it's like a hole in your heart that you can't fill. It's I mean, because my mom, I think she was like 48 when she died.
Mm.
So she was still fairly young and working and doing things. And it's nothing that you expect to happen. But man, the emptiness, the sense of really feeling like you're in the world alone was there. You know what I mean? Even though I had my sisters and brothers and I was the youngest, it's nothing they could do or say to me that would
Mhm.
fill that void. You know what I mean? And my
Mhm.
mom, she was always busy, but it was nothing like if I'm just and we all have mothers, so we know just sitting in the back seat with mom while she driving, you're just there with her. You know what I mean? Especially if you got a busy mom.
Mhm.
And that was one of the things that, man, and still today, it's not that void. I thank God for, like I said, James Claiborne, because his wife, Shirley Claiborne, she became another mother to me.
Mhm.
And it was like, getting a second mom. But
Mhm.
uh during that time, man, it's hard. It was hard. I cried many days.
Mm. You guys, everyone comes over from the Bahamas to the U.S. to Homestead. Um, was there a culture shock involved in that? And making that transition and going to school with different people.
Oh yeah, man, listen, the kids are mean and cruel, man. We had kids them following around, yeah man, hey man, and stuff like that, man. You got a lot of that, man. They do anything to get you talk because they like the accent, but they pick on the accent too. But
Mm.
uh in our house, mom made sure, we never lost our culture, we never lost our roots. And the good thing is, my sisters them was extremely intelligent. One of the things that struck one of my teachers is when we was doing a Black History report, everyone, wrote on Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and stuff like that. I did mines on Haile Selassie I,
Mhm.
because this is what we learned in the Bahamas and how, during the war, how World War II started
Mhm.
through Ethiopia by Adolf Hitler uh, when he was chancellor and became chancellor. Mussolini became chancellor of Italy, and
Mhm.
how they befriended each other. And he told him, he said, "Listen, at that time it wasn't the United Nations; it was the League of Nations."
Mhm.
And they said, he told him, he said, he presented him with the sword and said, "Listen, we could have world domination, and I'm going to show you that the League of Nations is a paper tiger and the United States is a joke. And I'll do that by invading Ethiopia, and they won't do nothing about it." And sure enough, later, 3 weeks later, he invaded Ethiopia. And at that time, Italy was pouring so much olive oil into the United States. They bought him there and they said, "Hey, would what's going on?" He said it was just friendly fire. They scolded him. 3 weeks later, he invaded Ethiopia. Mussolini stood before the League of Nations and gave one of the greatest speeches they said that ever happened. And Bob Marley made a song out of it called War.
Mhm.
And that was the speech when he said, "Until the day that old ones rank superior than another which is inferior, finally predative and abundant, there will be war. And we Africans will fight if necessary." He explained to them that he was 5,000 foot soldiers. He gave his country and he emancipated them. He free.
What was the education part? I mean, did you do well in school? Did your siblings do well in school?
Yeah, and we had a culture of teaching where first to 12th grade was in the same school. 12th
Mhm.
grade was at the back. So if you was my big brother, Elmo, and I was acting up, my teacher wouldn't send me to the principal office. They'll go to the next class and come get you.
Mhm.
And you would come over there, man, you sitting up here, got me coming up here to say that, embarrassing the family and stuff like that. You
Mhm.
may grab me by the ear and, shaking stuff like that and sit down. So that was it. We lined up in the morning. They check your nails, your clothes, and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So it was very effective.
So where was life going for you at that time?
Man, life
Push
was
us forward.
Man, life was beautiful, man. At that time, I was going to school in the U.S. every summer. I'm in the Bahamas with my cousins. We're diving conchs out of the ocean. We're eating snapper every day, and
Mhm.
coming back, to the U.S. playing football. Just, life was beautiful. My father had retired from, the Army and the Navy, and he was working for Pan Am Airlines, so we flew for free. So
Mhm.
life was good for me.
Mhm.
Life was good for you.
Yes.
But you already mentioned that you did end up losing your mom at an unexpected time. Then you
Right.
lost the man that was a father to you.
Right, the only father I know.
Right. But then somebody else stepped in to be like a
Right.
mother for you.
Right. Doing that, I would say doing that 3-4 year span before uh Mike Claiborne and I met his family. Life went from living on the moon to airplane crash going straight down, going straight towards the tarmac.
Right.
But at that time, I guess God seen it fit to put a family in my life that really gets me and stuff.
And how did that help? Walk us through life going forward from that point.
It was good, man, because the thing about it is Mike's father, being a contractor, he made very good money, and he lived a better middle class life than I was living, during the time of my parents them. Uh my sisters, I was staying with one of my sisters at the time, and they're coming up, they're both working, her and her husband having kids, and they was doing okay. Mike them, they had his dad being if not the biggest farmer in South Florida, one of the biggest pickup trucks, flatbeds, stuff like that. So working with him and learning how to work on vehicles and learning how to drive these big equipments and forklifts, and it began to take my mind off of the pain of losing your mom and stuff like that. And he used to always instill stuff that gets you to grow on, telling you about manhood is moving from adolescent to adulthood and into manhood, which is, being on your own, paying your own bills, paying your bills on time. He said, while you're living with your parents, you don't know how long you'll leave dirty clothes on the floor. You don't know how long you'll leave dishes in the sink until you move out on your own. Because someone always telling you, boy, pick up them clothes off the floor, wash those dishes. So,
How old were you during the course of this time? Excuse me for.
uh, that's let's see, they died. I was about mm, 19, 20 when him and I started really getting close.
Did you pick up any bad habits around that time? Because life kind of shook up a little bit.
Yeah, listen,
Attitude.
man, during the time that when my mother died, uh, drinking, smoking marijuana, running the streets with, uh, unsavory characters. I was running the streets with guys, I wouldn't even let them know where I lived. That's how shisty they were. These are the type of guys that'll help you sell marijuana and then come back and rob you. And you're like, man, I know it's you. Those the sneakers you had on. But yeah, those things did come into play.
You're in Virginia, living in Virginia now,
Mm-hmm.
and you say the word or something started to spread around.
Yeah, I was driving tractor trailers. I met a friend of mine, white guy named David Falk. He used to be a mechanic, worked on my vehicles, my old lady's vehicles. Used to go by his house sometimes, have a few beers, sit down, and David apparently got into selling recreational drugs to his friends. Uh, Word got out that somebody owed him money, ended up shot, killed. And the rumor started spreading that David had got me to do it. So next thing I know, I'm speaking to the detectives and the police officers. And after that, I get indicted for first degree murder. I'm sitting down at the jail waiting for my preliminary hearing. I went through all of the scenes, but now, mind you, I'm not really sweating it because I know that, hey, this ain't got nothing to do with me. So I really didn't give it no thought. And my girl, she was like, I think you need to look into getting a good lawyer. So long story short, we went through everything. I went to trial. I think the it was a 4-day trial.
Yeah, but hold on. Before we get into the trial now, because I'm trying to use your words to paint pictures in my mind. So you're in the county jail,
Right,
in a city that you're not from,
right,
away from your family,
right.
and you pretty much know you didn't you say you didn't do it,
Right,
and you kind of chill mode.
right. Because,
Right.
yeah, because I'm in this.
How long did you stay in the county jail?
Well, that's when things started getting real. 2.5 years. Because you think normally, okay, this is just mistaken identity. It'll all be cleared up.
Mm-hmm.
But and when you start talking to guys, such as this guy who look at things rationally, say, man, this and guys, I'm like, nah, bro, listen, I don't mean to be funny, but you're under indictment, you're locked up, you're black with that charge right there. He says, you may look at penitentiary time. And I was shocked, but even in the case, mind you, no physical evidence in the case, but yet still ended up with 27 years.
Mm-hmm. That's
What-
what they sentenced you to.
Yes, we had a little interruption in it, not because when I heard that, I jumped up and said, "Hey, I'm being railroaded. What's
Right.
going on?"
Right.
The judge cleared the courtroom and everything, man, and from there it was off to the
Family.
penitentiary.
The family.
Yeah. Because I think he had about 9 family members.
Yeah,
And they I mean,
Yeah.
they have to have they got to be losing their mind as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
I mean, you calling home saying that you didn't do it,
yeah,
but the other alone you still sitting
right,
in a desolate place.
right. And you tell people them stuff like that, and people like, well, you're locked up, you're incarcerated. It must have been something for them to
did.
lock you up.
Yeah.
Was your
But
family coming up?
man, my family came up once, twice a year, man, rain, sleet, or snow. My sister Brenda, Flo, Teddy, my nieces Velma, Rosetta, uh, Jasmine, Chanel, all of them, they made sure that they made that trip. Andrea, they all packed up the van. They came up. They seen me every year. They come up for the weekend, and my older sister started writing people, and the next thing I know, we had the Innocent Project that came aboard, and I got a letter from them that stated that she's, and as a matter of fact, I sent it to my employer when I was applying for my job at JBF, that said that we've been with Vernon for 17 years. She said out of all the cases she've read, it was no doubt in her mind when she read mine that they had the wrong guy, and she said that they've been behind me all the time I was in and since I've been out.
In the process, even though you got the Innocence Project working with you, right, some form of Innocence Project, you still got sent to the Virginia Department of Corrections?
Yeah, yeah, and did almost did the whole 27. I did 23 years before I get
Well,
out.
how was that? You're an innocent man.
Well,
and
here's the thing. When the Innocent Project digged into my case, all of the evidence that they found out that was withheld from me at trial, like the fact that one of the eyewitnesses picked out 2 other individuals in the photo spread that I was in, except for me. For some reason, they said that could have been discovered through due diligence, and being that it wasn't brought up at trial, that they don't consider it as newly discovered evidence. They said that even though no one's seen it, they said that it could have been, if my lawyer did what he's supposed to, he should have had that evidence, regardless of the fact if the Commonwealth suppressed it or not, which really started making me think, and this could be a long-term journey, because If you play, well, when you play football and you go to move in the goal post, it's kind of hard to kick that field goal,
Mhm. My question is like, um, I haven't been in jail for a crime I haven't committed, so it was easy for me to go in and relax
hmm
and sit back and not worry about anything because I was guilty.
Right.
I can't imagine 23 years of walking around in a facility or prison that I can't get out of, and professing my innocence and still operate up under the guise and rules of the people that incarcerated me.
Right.
How did you do that?
That's a very good question. And I'm gonna tell you, the reality hit me like this. I was when I my first 5 years, I was trying to tell anyone who was that would listen, look, y'all got the wrong person. You got the wrong guy and stuff like that, especially uh when the Innocent Project took on and signed on to my case. And what I realized is a counselor called me in and she said, do you know 77% of the inmates in here say they innocent? All of y'all are innocent. And that right there hit me like a ton of bricks, and it taught me to shut up,
Mm.
be quiet, and wait on God. Because I was so surprised because all these people I was talking to, and they like, okay, I see, I understand. All the while, these people them thinking exactly what that counselor was just, upfront enough to tell me,
Expressing to
yeah, that don't nobody believe you innocent. So that was really a a come to Jesus moment for me.
How did you occupy your time? You did a significant amount of time. How did you occupy your time in there?
Oh man, I read everything I could get my hands on. The Bible. I started reading the Bible rapidly. I read Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, all of John Maxwell's leadership books. Anything I could get my hands on, learn, working trades. I already had quite a few skills before I went in, being able to lay bricks, tie steel, drive tractor trailers, heavy equipment. So getting jobs wasn't that hard. I worked, started surrounding myself with guys them who was intentional about growth.
Here you are in front of the judge, and they lay the gavel down, and they give you 27 years. You're an innocent man, but you get sentenced to 27. How did you take that?
It was he said, what? Well, I'm looking at my lawyer. What did he say?
27.
And my lawyer's like, we're gonna appeal this. We're gonna appeal. I said, no way. I mean, what did he say 27 years? This man, I can't do 27 years. And man, I am laid out. My family, man, my sisters them especially, and no one knows you like your family, and they'll tell you quick, I used to fight at a drop of hat, but come down to shooting someone or something like that, that's not my thing. And it just, it hit them hard, man, for me. At that time I was married, had a house, trying to raise kids. And I was in non-belief, you know what I mean? When they took me out, I think I was still asking to bail it. What did the judge say? He was like, man, you gone away for a long time, man. You need to figure out. And the judge said, what was the statement? Judge James B. Wilkerson. He said, sir, I don't he said, I don't expect because I haven't been in trouble before. He was like, sir, I don't expect you to be able to comprehend how you're gonna do all of this time, but I want you to do the best you can, giving us all of it. And I'm like, what? Yeah, and I'm looking at my lawyer, and my lawyer's looking at me stupid, and I'm looking at him stupid. I'm like, what is he talking about? Because mind you, I'm still 27 years, you know what I'm saying?
Vernon, we're gonna leave it right there
All right.
due to our time constraint. But definitely we're coming back. And we want to talk more about what you did in prison, your faith. This story has been really, really a journey from the Bahamas to the big house.
Yeah.
And as we begin to open it up even more and more, I know that a lot of guys can relate to your story in looking at the sentencing process and looking at how what we do affects family. This has been the Death of Prison podcast. I'm here with Oswald Newbold
Yes, sir.
and Mr. Vernon Ripley. When we return, we'll continue this story. And believe me, it's one that you don't want to miss. Thank you for your time. This is Death of Prison podcast. This is brought to you by leanonmeusa.org. And we say, choose life.
You
okay, you got to go back.
You got to do that.
Yeah. Choose life. Okay. This is the Death of Prison podcast, brought to you by Lean On Me USA. Here we say,
Choose life.
Hello, I'm Joe Pryor, President and CEO at Crossroads Prison Ministries. For over 40 years, we have provided correspondence Bible lessons and caring mentors to people in prisons and jails. I want to invite you to join us on this journey. You may ask, why should I sign up for a correspondence Bible study? Well, the answer is simple. Just as it is important to strengthen your body with good food and exercise, and your mind with new learning opportunities, it is also vital that you spend quality time growing your faith in God. Crossroads is a Christian program, but open to you. Whether you are a believer in Jesus Christ looking to strengthen your faith or simply exploring faith and what it can mean to your life, we're here for you. We want to come alongside you as we study God's Word together. We don't charge for our program. All you need to do is write to us at the address on the screen, and we will begin sending you lessons. I encourage you to give us a try. Thank you, and I hope to see you as a student very soon.